Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest match of the 22-23 Premier League season has just taken place. And even though some teams have as many as 8 games still left to play, it looks like the title is heading in one direction and one direction only. You take a quick look at the table and you'll notice that the Gunners still sit on top. You take a close look at the table and you'll notice that that doesn't actually mean very much. With 2 games in hand, the fate of the Premier League title rests firmly in the hands of Manchester City. Because the primary tiebreaker in the EPL has been head-to-head results and not goal difference since 2019, all they need to do is win their remaining matches and they will be champions. Actually, they're even afforded the luxury of drawing 2 of them. There's nothing Arsenal can do about it at this point. Now, you may be thinking, this dude is making this sound easier than it actually is. They'll slip up. No team's perfect. That's a fair point, and you might even be right. But if history is any indicator of the future, think again. In the 6 full seasons since Pep Guardiola has joined Manchester City, this is what their last 7 games have looked like. You could ignore 2020-21, they won the league by 12 points and there was very little pressure on them by the end of it. But pay close attention to 18-19 and 21-22. Both seasons where they won by 1 point and were just a menace to deal with. Liverpool fans, apologies for the PTSD, I had to get the point across somehow. Arsenal, on the other hand, looked to be experiencing season fatigue at the worst possible time. A time where City have historically hit their stride. All we can really say at this point is that it's not looking good. Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well, even though I know some of you probably aren't. I'm Tinashe and welcome back to the channel. Now, I've been transparent about where I stand in this whole situation all along. As a fan of the story and also as a fan of what they represent, I was pretty much rooting for Arsenal throughout the entirety of the season. They've displayed some of the best form that I've seen from not only an Arsenal side, but a Premier League side in general. Remember that at the halfway point, they had amassed 50 points, more than any other Arsenal side has done in top-flight history. And Arsenal is the definition of a historic club. I was so impressed, I made this video, and I also made this video. But like a lot of people had to do after watching what we all just watched, I kinda had to face the facts. Manchester City are just too good. They really are. They dominated Arsenal in just about every metric in this match, and the 4-1 scoreline was more than deserved. Let's talk about the actual match for a second. To Arsenal's credit, they started off this match very aggressively and very clearly looked to take the match to City from the get-go. The formations matched, but the level of play did not. And how each team approached the game did not. The issue is that when you have the kind of quality that this Manchester City side has, you better hope that you're goddamn flawless in your progression of the ball, because any holes you leave behind will 1000% be exploited. Surprise, surprise, Erling Haaland, the Premier League's new overlord, was primed and ready on the halfway line to cushion the ball down and put Kevin De Bruyne through for a belter of an opening goal. I don't like the fact that Pep Guardiola keeps unlocking DLC content for this Haaland guy. It's not fair. And don't even get me started on Kevin De Bruyne. This guy is just unreal. I'm curious to know where you guys would place him in your list of best midfielders and even further, best players in EPL history. He's got a very strong spot towards the top if you ask me. I get that a lot of people don't want to have this conversation because the guy is still active, but I mean, let's be real here. And it's not even me being reactionary at this point. He's got 4 Premier League titles, will likely have 5 by the end of this season, and in every season that he's been in the league since he joined City, he's been comfortably in the top 3 mids in the whole league. He's been the best more often than not. And I'm sorry to keep harping on about this guy, but even though we've seen him do it before, the way he carried the ball for his first goal and finessed it into that bottom right corner left me in awe. City effectively blocked every single progression channel that Arsenal tried to work and pretty much made them look passive all the way throughout. Rodri and Gundogan put in some masterful work, and Kyle Walker, back to his native spot at right back, was very solid. John Stones continues to prove why he's been a centre-back in a Pep Guardiola side for 7 years. That's no easy feat, and that second goal was just the nail in the coffin for me, especially due to how it happened. It's true that the stop-start nature of VAR checks can be annoying and disrupts the flow of the game, but when a ref gets it wrong and VAR runs it back, we see the value. It looks close, but arms don't count in offsides, I guess. Thinking you're off the hook just to end up 2-0 down to this Manchester City side is probably one of the most demoralizing things that any football team can experience at the moment. I'm pretty sure Arsenal were hoping that this game would drift into distant memory over time. And then Erling Haaland went ahead and made history, breaking the record for Premier League goals scored in a 38-game season. 33 goals, beating out Mohamed Salah's 32 from 2017-18. The all-time record is 34, shared by Alan Shearer and Andy Cole in 94 and 95. The only difference was that these records were made when 42-game seasons were still a thing. Erling Haaland will equal and then surpass those records, let's be honest. Also, Erling Haaland has scored 33 goals in 29 games. Chelsea has scored 30 in 32. Let that sink in. Arsenal just were not great in this match, but at the same time, Man City were just so goddamn hardwired and calculated. It's tough for the Gunners, it really is. But as the league leaders essentially since day one, if you can't bang with the best, you probably don't deserve to be the best. Take the third goal. One simple misplaced pass by Martin Ødegaard on the halfway line, and within 8 seconds, it's a goal. Arsenal were just utterly and totally outplayed. We can't really say much more about it. The frustration can be seen by all the players in red by the end of it. Scuffles all the way throughout. And can you blame them? It was a tough day at the office. In fact, it's been a tough couple of weeks at the office. 4 winless games in a row. 3 draws, 1 loss, 0 wins. 9 points dropped at the business end of the season. 6 points that they really had no right not to take based on their season. A struggling Liverpool that have a deathly phobia of consistency this season. Beat Man United 7-0 one week, then lose to relegation candidates Bournemouth the next. Next, West Ham, who are pretty much in the same category as Bournemouth at the moment. Both of these games saw Arsenal go 2-0 up and then... I mean, it's not a bottle, but you get the idea. And then the most shameless, bottom of the table, Southampton. 3-3. Theo Walcott on the score sheet. I heard rumors that Arsene Wenger's been thinking about his son's betrayal ever since. Some Arsenal fans will point towards Saliba being injured and how that's caused the drop-off. Some might point towards the youth and therefore inexperience in the team as what's caused the drop-off, which is ironic because that is what many people believe to be one of their biggest strengths, myself included. Some might blame Arteta's game management, particularly in this City game where the blueprint to beating them has already been laid out by the likes of Man United and Spurs. Sit deep, invite some pressure, and then counter at pace. Obviously it sounds easier said than done, but that's what they did. I do understand that that's not how Arteta's boys play at all. They are a dynamic side, but this approach didn't work when they played each other earlier in the season, and there was no indication that it was gonna work this time around. There is still hope though. I mean, despite their previous record, Man City does still have to go out there and win their next matches. I mean, maybe we'll see something that, quite frankly, a lot of people won't be expecting to see. But as for Arsenal, all they can do at this point is hope for the best. Winning any league, especially the Premier League, is tough. Well, unless you're Pep Guardiola.
First league title was 100 points, so it was not difficult.
No, I mean you as a manager.
In Bayern Munich we won in February, and in Barcelona we won 4 games in advance as well, so it's easy.
You know what? I know he's just trying to wind up the media and it's all just banter, but you can't really argue with him, can you? I honestly cannot believe that it's up to Real Madrid and Manchester United to save football. God help us all. And there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about this ever-evolving title race and that massive Man City-Arsenal match. Really big match. Feel free to follow all the socials, all the links are in the description. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.